There are times in our lives when we experience great loss. Loss comes in many ways. Regardless of the way in which loss arrives at our doorstep, it touches our heart. And there are moments where we feel heartbroken. This meditation is for those who have experienced loss and feel ready to begin the journey of moving back into a deep understanding of life. And so as you get comfortable and close your eyes, I invite you to take a couple relaxed breaths and know that there is this thing called life. It is whole, complete, and perfect. It is eternal and infinite. Today we will use a tree as our guide in experiencing and tapping into an understanding that no matter what human physical loss we may experience, there is one life. There is only death in the appearance of humanity, of physical form. And there is something to be said for knowing ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Life is a circular event in the wholeness and grandioseness of life itself. And so imagine with me, if you will, that there is a tree in front of you. And this tree is a rather odd-looking tree. Its branches reach almost to the ground, even though it's very tall. There are no leaves on this tree. It is barren, as if it is winter. And there are so many branches. It's gnarly looking. The branches interweave with one another, and they are hard and grayish brown. It certainly doesn't look like a tree of life, but somehow it calls to you. And so you crawl underneath the branches and get up against its trunk. And you sit there pondering, what is calling to me? Suddenly you realize this humongous tree began as a seed. One seed so small you could hold it between your thumb and your finger. One seed that somehow just landed in this specific spot and embedded in the dirt and watered by the rains and feeling the heat of the sun it sprouted. It didn't need anyone or anything to give it permission. It sprouted right where it was. And as it sprouted, it got larger and larger until it became this tree that you are now sitting under, leaning against its thick, sturdy trunk, feeling the roots on the ground beside you, and realizing that these roots go underground just as big, just as much as the branches that you see above the ground. It's like there's a whole other tree underneath the ground. There are two lives, two dimensions, one underground and one above the ground. Oh, there's another dimension. There's that divine idea within that original seed that created this tree. The divine is always showing up in all its beauty, in all its splendor, in all its awesomeness. And so you just relax and feel the incredible beauty found in the divine opportunities of nature. This tree of life continues to grow. And you can sit here and reflect underneath its branches about how life is like those branches and the trunk of the tree. Many branches weaving themselves together. Relationships, and you know that whatever loss you may have experienced, no one ever really leaves us in our heart of hearts. If we go within to that still small voice within us, we can hear our loved ones laughing, speaking to us, speaking through us. Because the divine is eternal, and we are of that. And if you close your eyes hard enough, you can even imagine yourself being wrapped in the arms of your loved one. Just like the branches surround each other. And how good it feels to know that there is no end. Life is eternal, ever present in your heart of hearts. And so what might become of this tree? Might the tree represent a solitary place where you can come to feel your loved one, to feel their presence, to feel their life in the tree of life? Or might a butterfly flicker by and just flap its wings in your direction? A signal that life is flying all around you. Or maybe a cardinal or some other kind of bird builds its nest in your tree of life. Another symbol of life, of loved ones, eternal life. And so with a heart full of joy, full of connectedness, and knowing that we can return to the tree of life in any given moment, simply by closing our eyes, taking a breath, and feeling its presence, I give thanks. I give great thanks, heartfelt thanks, for the opportunity to love so deeply that I am able to feel the sadness of loss, while at the same time knowing life is eternal, all is well, and so it is.